There is this character in the Matrix franchise, and more specifically in the first movie, who's called Cypher. That is very interesting. And that character is defined by his decision to go back to the Matrix. That is, he was freed by Morpheus from the boundaries of the Matrix, the virtual reality that humanity is trapped in that universe. But he does not like to be awakened in a post-apocalyptic world. And so he makes a deal with one of the agents of the Matrix so he could go back to the ignorant state that humans are in the Matrix. But the thing is that ignorance is very interesting because ignorance comes from ignoring this and that. In Cypher's case, he's ignoring the fact that everything that he is experiencing is an illusion. And that is very interesting, my friends, because Cypher personifies us in general, because we are immersed in this material reality of informations, of constant stimuli to the senses and all that, and we get inebriated by our experience, our subjective experience of life. But the thing is that in my life right now, I'm having trouble in ignoring things that need to be ignored. That is, in order for us to survive, we need to ignore certain things about reality, because in that way we can keep our sanity. That is interesting, my friends, because nowadays we see the world drowning in ignorance, but not this regular ignorance that I'm talking about. Certain things that need to be ignored in order for us to survive. For example, the opinions of others. We need to ignore them. For example, the opinions of others when they're talking about us. We have to ignore that, but it's very hard. So that should be ignored. But for example, the suffering of the majority of people shouldn't be ignored. That should be something that needed to be resolved and understood. But the thing is that since we live in this state of ignorance, it is difficult to understand, to see what is what. But when you go to the fundamentals of human existence, we can find some answers there. Because, for example, compassion sums up what can't be ignored. And for example, hate and prejudice shows us what should be ignored. It is interesting, my friends, because to understand what needs to be ignored and what can't be ignored is all a matter of consciousness. After all, everything is Mandala.